today?
Not too good.
Oh, wait a minute. I want to introduce you to a friend of mine.
Hi, Julie.
Well, hi, Panda Bear. Tell me, what's your problem?
I'm kind of lonely.
Oh, Panda Bear. Panda Bear, you know, you showed up on a very, very good day.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I'm planning to teach the boys and girls to make some paper bag puppets.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad you like it. Would you like to stay around and watch some things being made?
Sure.
Why don't you come sit over here? I'd like to show you some things that some other boys and girls have made, and then we'll go sit down and do some of our own. This one is nice. It's got lots of dark hair and a great big smile. The expression really comes out when you open it and you look underneath. And there's a great big mouth with a tongue. That's how you make the paper bag puppet talk. This one is on a nice light yellow paper bag. And an extra added was on this one because she did the whole figure, and then she cut out some clothes out of paper, construction paper. That's pretty heavy colored paper. Now this one is using complementary colors, red and green. She didn't know they were complementary, but when you use red and green together, they have a really bright, zingy quality. I like that. I think they all did a fine job. Why don't you come with me and we'll see if we can do a fine job too. Let's start off first by looking at a stuffed paper bag puppet. This one is fun, and it's very simple to do. We need a paper bag, and let's start with that. Let's see where, there they are. I've got my work area very nice and neat and laid out, but still sometimes I forget things and can't locate them. Here are 3 different color paper bags. We have yellow ones and green ones and some brown ones. We can choose whichever color we want. Paper bags come in lots of different colors and also lots of different sizes. These are fine for my hands. You might need to get some smaller paper bags if your hands are real small. Now, this paper bag starts off getting stuffed. And I've got some newspaper here for that. Just take a couple of sheets and listen for the crinkly sound. Okay? That gives us the head. And we need to put inside a stick. Now this happens to be a stick that's a chopstick. Oriental people don't use forks and spoons the way we do. They use chopsticks, 2 of them together to eat. They also make great art sticks. So put one in here, and then we're going to take some tape and take off a nice long piece, carefully so that you don't get it sticking to itself, and wrap it around there. Good. Now make it nice and tight. And there's the base. We can do just about anything we like on top of that. Now, if the stick doesn't stay in well enough, you can always do what we did on this one. We took some staples and a stapler and stapled it right down on top of the stick in the front and the back. I can feel right now I don't need to do that on this one. Okay, so there we have a paper bag. What shall we make? How about some ears? I've got some brown paper here. I'll cut out 2 ears. Oh, just any size is good. But you look at the paper bag and you figure out just about how big you want that to be. And here's a secret for when you're cutting things out. You don't want to waste your paper. So you cut it out on the edge of the paper so that next time you need some brown, you can use the rest of it. If you did an ear in the middle, you'd be wasting all the edge. A good idea to remember is whenever you do a cutout, start from the very edge of the paper. And today we're going to put these on with tape. Another way you can do it is to put it on with glue. There we go, one ear and another ear. If you're working along with me, you may have two ears. Oh, there's one ear that got a little flat on top. Looks fine, I think. Okay, now once you've got some ears, what else do you need? Every face, if it's an animal or a person, has certain features. There's eyes and a nose and a mouth. Here's some colored construction paper. Lots of colors. I've got some pink and blue, and this is a fun color. Let me show you this. This is called oatmeal paper. And if you look real closely, you see that there are different colors in it. That's why it's called oatmeal. Okay, now I think for a pair of eyes, blue would be nice. Take a light blue, and remember right along the edge so we don't waste, let's cut out two slightly round shapes for eyes. And these can be just about any size you want. They don't even need to be exactly the same size, but let's get them close enough so that they won't look too strange. And I'm going to take some tape and tape them down. There we go. And the other one. Now, the important reason that you stuff your bag first is so you can figure out where to put things on. Because if you put on the features first and then stuff it afterwards, you might find that you've got a problem with this feature, the eyes or the nose, just sort of disappearing into the wrinkles. Now, how about a nose? You know, noses come in all sorts of sizes. There's big ones and little ones and round ones. Most noses are bigger on the bottom than they are on the top. So let's cut out this kind of a nose. You like that? Now, if you cut out something and you don't like it, you don't need to use it, of course. You can put it away and cut another one. I think this is a good nose, though, so I'm going to put it on there. Whoops, where'd it go? I lost my tape. And we need another piece of tape. You make decisions when you're doing art all the time, and that's part of the fun. Doesn't have to look like anybody else's. My absolute favorite thing about doing art is that nobody else can really tell me exactly how to do it. Because it's mine and I can make my own decisions. Okay, I'm going to look for some orange. And I'm feeling in such a good mood today that I am going to make a great big smile. You see, I'm cutting the edge. Now, I am sort of guessing. Here we go, and I'm going to cut out the shape of a mouth. Now, people's mouths have kind of a bow shape on top and a nice, just a smooth shape on the bottom. Now, I can hold it up and see. That's a little too big. So I'm going to cut it off, and I think that'll be just about right. Using the tape again. There we go. I put the tape on backwards because it fell over on itself. Now, we have two. If you do lots of them, you can store them with the sticks up in a jar. And let's put these two guys over here out of the way. There they are. Now you can use them next time you want to do a puppet show, or just for decoration. I think they would look nice right on top of your dresser to talk to and say goodnight to. That's one kind of a paper bag puppet. Look at these four. This one was done by a girl who was 7 years old, honest. Her name is Alexis, and she came over and visited my daughter one day, and it was a rainy day, a terrible day. So they thought they'd like to do some really nice arts and crafts, and they were very happy that I had a good suggestion. They made paper bag puppets. This is a mouse, and you can tell because of the ears, right? You can also tell because right underneath the nose, there's kind of this shape that a cat has. I think it's possible to look at this and see that it's not a person. She did a dress, and she even curled some paper, cut a thin strip of paper and curled it up for some little extra hair. And this is a construction paper bow up here. And this is cute. Now, she put this on, and I would imagine that that's probably a flower. So you can cut out paper and add it on. And you can also draw on with crayons. There's lots of things you can do with paper bag puppets. This is a very simple one. It's an owl. And underneath, when you open it up, there's the owl's tongue. I'll show you how to make one that's very similar to this. This is one that I made, and it's a dingo puppy. Actually, it's very much like a regular dog, but a dingo puppy is a wild dog. Very few people own them, and you can usually see them in zoos. We did a cutout on top of brown paper, and then underneath, when we opened it up, we did the inside of the mouth. When you're doing paper bag puppets, you think of the top as being the top of your jaw, where the top of your mouth and your nose and the upper part of your face is, and underneath the fold, we do the lower part of the jaw. That way, when I put my hand in it, now this is hard to show you because it's inside, but my thumb goes right in here. And my forefingers go right where the fold is, so that when I talk with my paper bag puppet, I can make the mouth move, and it looks like it's really talking to me. Let's do one now. How about a green one? Sometimes when I'm doing paper bag puppets, or any kind of dolls, I like to think that they're from another planet. You know that there are just billions and billions of stars and planets out there? And we really don't know if there are other people. It's nice to think that maybe there are. Now I'm going to take a ruler, and I'll do this nice and dark so you can see it. I'm going to take the paper bag, and I have to figure out how much I need to cut. Now we know it's the top, so what I'm going to do is put this down here and just draw where the bag ends on top and there on the side. Now I know that I've got this much space that I can make the face from. So we'll start with ears. And since we know this is the top, we can put ears right up there. There's one ear, and there's another ear. Now, what else does he have? He's also got some eyes. So right about there, kind of a little above the middle, let's give him some eyes. And we're going to color them in with the flow pens. These are felt tip pens, and if you don't have any, you can use crayons. There we go, some eyes. And if you look on this dingo puppy, there's an expression given the eyes by just the way the eyebrow comes over. So let's give him some eyebrows. And there. Now we definitely need a nose. But watch. See, as we open this, there's the bottom of the mouth. And this is all we really need. We need the bottom of the lip. And a puppy's lip, I'm going to put this paper here, there, so I don't draw on my other colors. Puppy's lip is something like that. And then the nose moves up like that. Now we need the nose, don't we? This leads up to the nose, and there's a nice big nose. Now, I'm not trying to do this exactly the same way as this one. I want him to be different. I'll also give him a black nose. I'm staying inside my lines, but I don't have to if I don't want to. There we go. And it looks to me like he's got a bit of a smile. Let's make that wider. Smiley dog. Now, if you look over here, you see this brown part. That's the inside of the ear. It's kind of a shadow. So let's give it a bit of a shadow up here. That also makes the design look nice. And some on the other side, coloring it in black. If I'm working a little faster than you are, you might want to watch for a little bit and then do it yourself. If you're working along and you're working a little slower than I am, don't worry about it. You can catch up. There we go. Now, did you see I slipped off the blue and onto the paper here? But my work area is protected. I've got some brown wrapping paper on here, so I know that I'm not going to ruin the table. Next thing I need to do is to cut this out. And for this, I have a good pair of scissors. And I'm cutting away from myself. Okay? Now remember what I said about working on the bottom edge of your paper. Even though I'm cutting out a whole top of the head, I'm still going to have lots of this blue paper left. And I can use that for something else. If you don't waste your art materials, you'll have lots for next time. Okay. There. Now that's going to be the top. We also need a bottom, don't we? So we're going to take the same bag, and if you open it up, you'll see that about halfway, the bottom stops. So we can use the same top, but make it only about halfway up. So we'll start it down here. And instead of using the ruler this time, I'm just using the top. Now, you could measure if you wanted to. You could say, oh, I need this about 2.5 inches long. And then I could measure on here about 2.5 inches and rule that off. But it's so convenient having a very straight edge on the top of the paper. Okay, now we need the bottom of the jaw. So it's going to stick out a little bit, and let's make it like that. Should we give him a great big red tongue? Inside, let's draw the tongue. You're right, I said red. Okay. Going back to our magic markers. And we're going to color in that, okay? I like felt pens because they go on so nicely, and they're not too messy. There are two different kinds. There's the permanent kind. Permanent means it'll stay, and it won't ever come off. And there's the washable kind. You might try using the washable ones if you're really small, because you might get them on your clothes or on yourself, and it would be nice to have them wash out. Once you've used them and shown that you can handle them without getting the whole place terribly messy, that's a good time for you to get the permanent ones. Okay? Now this by itself really doesn't look like anything, but put the face on top and we've got a whole head. And what I would do now would be to use my glue, which has gotten a little bit of a top on it. There. Now, two choices, right? I could glue the back of this whole thing, or I could glue the top of the paper bag. And I have to think and make an intelligent choice about that. I notice that when I put this on, some of the top of the head goes above the top of the bag. So if I glued this, it would end up getting all over everything but the bag. So I'm going to just put glue on the top of the bag. There we go. And I dot it around. This kind of white glue is very, very sticking. You don't need a whole bunch of it. There. And I gently pat that down. And then I take the bottom one, and this one I'm going to put on the back of the jaw, on the back of the blue paper, because I know that's going to fit exactly on the bag. We measured it. And then I put that down. And now when this dries, I have another friend, my dingo puppy. And here is our panda bear. Well, panda bear, is that better?
Well, Julie, I do have lots of friends now.
Aw, Panda, I'm glad. I like making friends for you. And you know, when it's rainy and cold out, what can we do together?
I can talk to my friends.
Can I talk to your friends too?
Why, sure. You know, when you create us, you've got a special bond to us.
A special bond? You mean like a parent to a child?
Yeah, I sort of think of you as my mom.
Aw, I'm really pleased, Panda Bear. You know, I always wanted to have a great, big, beautiful pet that didn't shed and get fleas.
Well, I never have fleas, and I never shed.
You would make an absolutely perfect, perfect pet. Can I take you home with me?
Oh, for sure.
Panda Bear?
Aw, Julie. I like that.
And I hope that you are as loving and as sweet to your paper bag puppets as I like to be to mine. Because the things I make are very precious to me, and I take good care of them. When I go home today, I'm going to put all my paper bag puppets into a great big envelope and keep them somewhere so that the next time I'm lonely and want somebody to talk to, I can take out my Panda Bear or any of my other puppets and I can say, "Hi, Guy, how you doing?" And you know what my puppets will say?
We're doing better now that you're here.
See you later.
Hello, I'm Dawn Morris, president of Morris Video.
And I'm George Morris. Thank you for watching our program. We hope you found it helpful and fun to watch.
If you'd like to broaden your horizons, here are some of our other programs to help you help yourself.